All right, let's talk Justin Fields. As heading into this game, I didn't think he was coming off of his best performance. I think that his week one performance in the preseason, not ideal. However, fortunately for him, Russell Wilson, if you're trying to win a starting job, I suppose, fortunately for him, Russell Wilson didn't show a ton, I thought, in this game, maybe potentially opening the door a little bit for Fields. Fields was going to have to do a lot probably to earn the job, but he definitely showed some nice stuff. And I think that after the last preseason performance, a lot of people have just written Fields off, but I thought he played pretty well in this one, and certainly is a guy to, I think, keep your eye on because of this. So I'm going to give my rating on how I thought he played 1 out of 10 at the end of this video. But first, let's just get into the film, talk about what I liked and what I still didn't like with Fields. Before I do, though, real quick, just want to bring up that I do have a movie channel. If you like movies, it's Jackson Kruger Movies. The link is in the description below. Do some film reviews, some tier lists, stuff like that. If that seems like your kind of thing, check that out. But yeah, let's just get into the film. Starting off with this play, we have seen in the past Fields get criticized for this kind of stuff, and it does show up here. It's a zone coverage concept. You have 2 minutes and 4 seconds left, so still, only one timeout, but enough time to get down to field, I would say. But, ideally, if you can get a chunk play, that's always good, but would be especially good in this situation. You're going to run a play action, hopefully get some linebackers to move in a little bit, and then, several routes going more over the middle. One of these could potentially get open. So, when this play begins, Fields runs the play action, looks over the middle, and, is that route open? I think there's a lot of people that would like to see Fields make this throw. It's not as easy as it looks on here. It just isn't, because yes, there isn't really anyone by him, but you have to keep in mind, Fields doesn't have a Jerome where he can just drop the football. He has to get it over to linebackers who are doing a pretty good job of staying back. So it's not quite as simple as it looks. I still think there's a lot of people that would like to see him make this throw here, though. Instead, he's going to do what Fields usually does, which is he doesn't really take too many chances down the field unless it's like, I thought maybe after play breaks down, then he'll take some chances. But, in terms of a game manager style, he tends to only throw it when it is open. He instead is going to run and try to pick up yards. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This was an example where it didn't really go for much, but of course, I'm sure Fields would tell you, hey, it's a lot better than if I threw an interception here, which isn't necessarily wrong. Also, I think something like this is worth saying. So what's going to happen on this play is it's going to be a zone coverage concept, and you see the routes on the screen that the Steelers receivers are running, and you can take your pick as to which route you think could get open on this play. There's several that could work. It's not a bad concept against zone. When Fields takes the snap, though, he's going to look over, and nothing is really working, and this is something that was unfortunately a trend for Pittsburgh at times in this game, not just when Fields was out there, but also when Wilson was out there. My prediction for this season, predictions are always difficult, but my prediction is that I think the Steelers might have some issues getting guys open. I think that's possible. I don't love the receiving core outside of George Pickens, so there could be some issues. On this play, Fields is going to just try to throw a check down, but gets hit as he's thrown. Maybe could have gotten there a little bit sooner is probably the criticism, but it doesn't quite work out. I think that may be an argument for why, if you are in the camp of Fields should start, why you would say that would be, I think that, something that can be shown on this next play. So the play itself, I'm not going to break it down too much, the X's and O's. I want to talk more about the situation. There's 24 seconds left. This is on that 2-minute drive, 2-minute drill that I showed earlier when it was starting. The Steelers have done a good job at getting to midfield, but they need a play to get into field goal range right here. So you have enough time. What's going to happen? Well, Fields takes the snap. He's going to look down the field, and again, in this situation, he could throw a check down right here if he wanted to. That would gain some yards, but it's sort of the Fields philosophy of he knows that, a lot of times he's the most dangerous guy with the ball in his hands, and he's not fully wrong about that. He does move very well with the ball in his hands. So he's going to scramble outside the pocket, and he's able to get there and get past the line of scrimmage. At this point, he could just run out of bounds, say, hey, you've gained some yards, let's make sure we keep an extra timeout here. He's going to play a little bit risky here. Watch him instead decide to go more into the middle of the field. Unfortunately, he did not get back out of bounds. He got tackled before getting out of bounds, so because of that, they had to burn the other timeout. but it was still a good play, right? They got in field goal range, so they were able to kick a field goal in this situation. So it's hard to blame him too much, I would say. To me, this is a good job by him. It was a risk worth taking because even though it didn't fully work out as designed, he still was able to get enough yards to get a field goal. And we also saw some plays like this, which are actual designed quarterback runs. And just to clarify for a second, in case Matt Nagy is watching this video, a designed quarterback run is when you have a mobile quarterback and you use that quarterback's mobility to your advantage. It's this crazy concept. We'll talk more about it later. But you'll see it on this play. Fields here is going to fake a handoff towards his right, but then he's actually going to scramble more towards the top of the screen. That's the way this play is designed to work. And as you see, he's going to, again, fake the handoff. He accelerates so fast, he is able to pick up a first down right there. You do have to think that if he comes into a regular season game at any point, the Steelers aren't going to do the Matt Nagy thing. They are going to have him move around a lot. It could even be stuff like this, which is not a designed run, but a designed rollout, and this works and they pick up a first down, and hey, a nice little hurdle there as well. Stuff like this I could see definitely Pittsburgh using, and they were, it was working well when they were using it in this preseason game. So, whatever you feel like that means, I think it means something. I don't know if it means everything, but certainly interesting nonetheless. Now, unfortunately for Fields, probably his worst run of the night, not really his worst run, but the worst running play that he was a part of was in probably the biggest spot, a 4th down and 2 right here. Again, it's a game that doesn't matter, but still, I'm sure that you want to get a touchdown on this drive. And as you see, the Bills are just going to be all over it. Fields does what he can to try and make something happen, but it's just there was no way that play was going to work. Again, maybe he could have tried to throw it, but it was a designed run. I get why he didn't realize that, even if there was someone open in the back of the end zone. So not really his fault, I would say. As a whole, I think the rushing was good. I think the rushing was very good. Not perfect, but very good. And we also saw him do this, which is another thing that I think is underrated with his game, is he doesn't just have to run to run. He doesn't just have to be someone who's running designed quarterback runs or is scrambling. He can do things like this, which is it's a zone coverage concept that the Bills are going to be in right here. And really take a look at that route, the tight end's route. When this play begins, it's not open. In fact, it's really kind of double covered right here. But Fields doing what Fields does, getting outside the pocket right here. As a Bills defender, you have to be aware of Fields. And if you're playing zone, you have to be willing to move in and make a play if there's a play to be made. So when really both of those guys take their eyes off of the tight end to cover Fields, Fields hits the tight end and they pick up a first down on that play. Again, it's really good stuff, and these are the kind of things that he is capable of doing. And then I thought he did stuff like this, which is it's a cover 3 zone play right here. You have a receiver who's going to be running an out route on this one past the first down marker, and it's going to get open. Like, look, Fields takes a snap. He looks in that direction. It's open. It is. This is an open play right here. At the same time, though, if you see Fields, he's already into throwing motion. Again, running the offense well is an important part of being a quarterback. Part of why the Bears moved off of him is they felt like he wasn't doing a good enough job at doing that. Well, here he is going to do a good job. He does get the ball over there. Really good stuff here by Fields. Again, nothing crazy. This is, it's not a highlight reel level play, but these are the important steps you want to see Fields be making. I actually think no 2-play sequence could sum up Fields' career so far better than these 2 plays. These are back-to-back plays. There's a penalty in between on a play that never happened, a false start. But this play, first, it's a 2nd down and 2. Okay, well, let's see what happens. We're going to try for a deep shot here. Fields is going to run a play action. Good time for a deep shot, right? As they might not be expecting it. Throws down to Field, and you see you have a receiver open. This is a touchdown waiting to happen. Here we go. Let's get, you already had a good performance, I feel like, up until this point. Let's get the touchdown and end on a happy note. Well, no, it's a missed throw. It's a missed throw. It's possible. The one thing I will say, we had broadcast footage. For all we know, there was a bit of a different angle. Doesn't appear to be the case, though. It looks like it was just a bit off. I would want the receiver moving more towards the middle of the field, so I think that's probably more of a missed throw than anything else. And so then, okay, now there's a penalty, and now we have this play. 3rd down and 7. Oh, man, we had a touchdown. Now are we even going to make anything happen? Fields takes the snap, and he gets pressured pretty quickly. I mean, right here, this is not looking like it's going to end too well. But for Fields, plays are never over until they're over. He probably, even he might still be the most difficult guy to actually sack. Like, he gets sacked more because he runs himself into sacks sometimes, but like, if you're just trying to talking about like physically tackling a guy, I feel like he's number one on the list of toughest to tackle. Watch him somehow get out of this situation. He is going to then throw on to run and throw into a mailbox, essentially. I mean, that's just absurd. That's like one of the worst plays of the game and then one of the best plays you'll ever see in back-to-back sequences. It's why it's so difficult to figure this guy out. So how do I give a numerical rating for his performance? I think I'm going to give it like a 7. I think like if a 6 is you just ran the offense, solidly well, I think he did more than that. Like, he did do plays like this. He also had to miss throw in there. I do have to factor that in. Wasn't a perfect performance by any means, but was definitely a good one, and I'm sure he's gonna have done some stuff here to get Pittsburgh just to think about it a little bit. Think about their decision a little bit more. Are we sure Russell Wilson is the guy, right? He made it a question again, whereas it pretty much wasn't a question entering the night, so definitely a good performance from that perspective. But those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.